Hello, peeps. It's the Hillbilly Halfwit. How are you today? Well, I've been hearing rumours about a new change to the inheritance tax on farming, and I thought I'd have a quick look at it. Now, being a small farmer, this will help small farmers the size of mine and of a bit bigger. So I'm always happy to see somebody U-turn on this. U-turn, get it? But if you're a larger farm, I can see it's not going to be very good for you because they're actually going to take more off you if you're a larger farm. So I just want to put my own situation into this before I say anything about this. I'm a small farm and I have no children. So me and my missus, if something happened to me, or I would have to pay the full inheritance tax like a normal person. So I'm not in any of this, sadly. So I think it's 45% tax I'd pay on everything, which is a real bummer, isn't it? After all you've worked for, if you wanted to pass it on to somebody. But this is if there's small family farms in Wales, throughout the UK, this would really help, to be fair. Now, I do not trust the Labour Party, though. So I don't think there should be any inheritance tax at all on anybody, because I think working people, the working class, or anybody who works throughout their lifetime on money, they've already been taxed on that money, and if they want to pass that on to their family to help them have a start in life, I don't see anything at all wrong with that, because it's hard enough to get a house in the UK now as it is. So I prefer no inheritance tax at all. But just looking at this thing, it does seem to be that this could help the smaller family farm. So this is a really close look at this new inheritance tax on farming, and I'm not going to piss about. It's not going to be a long video. So let's go. So I've heard about this new Centrax inheritance tax rumours, and I asked ChatGPT simply, can you tell me about it? Can you give me an idea of the new Centrax inheritance tax rumours? So I haven't been complicated on this because I don't know a lot about it. So here's what they tell me. Here's a breakdown of the current rumours, proposals and controversies around the new Centrax inheritance tax changes, especially related to farms, along with what seems like credible speculative. Now, lots of farmers have mentioned that it's not index linked. I know that, but I'm just saying this is what I'm looking at. For small farms, this would really help. It would really help compared to what's coming in next year. What's already officially proposed? These aren't rumours, so this is what's happening next year anyway. These are the announced changes for changes under the consultation that provide the backdrop for speculation. From April 2026, relief for agricultural property relief and business property relief are to be reformed. Under the new regime, assets qualifying under APR/BPR will only get 100% relief on the first million of value, above which relief will drop to 50%. Now, people who are listening to this, remember a farmhouse is in this, the machinery is in this, so that isn't a lot really. So on the portion above 1 million, an effective 20% tax rate will apply versus being untaxed for inherited agricultural business property. If you look there, that's where all it's from: Centrax, House of Lords, everything. The changes are The changes are additive to the existing nil band and residential nil band. Those allowances still apply separately. That's from the House of Lords. The tax on qualifying assets can be paid in interest-free instalments over 10 years. Pensions from April 2027, unused pension funds and death benefits may be included in the estate for inheritance tax purposes. Initially, there was a plan to have pension scheme administrators responsible for reporting and paying the tax, but that has been reversed. Personal representatives will remain liable after consultation. That's from gov.uk. These changes already explain how much of the discontent in the farming community and the source of the rumours about further tweaks. Now, this is the rumours of the new proposals, okay? So here are the main rumours or adjusted ideas being floated with my judgment on how plausible they seem. So if you look at the top, rumour, proposal, description, support, criticism, and likelihood on the right. So we'll go through them one at a time. So the rumour is threshold increase from 1 million to 5 million or more. So that sounds better, doesn't it? That's better for smaller farms, thankfully. Description, some are speculating a larger exemption so that smaller farms are not caught by the tax. Support by criticism, Sky News report that insiders are considering raising the threshold to 5 million or 10 million for couples so that smaller farms aren't liable. So the likelihood and the caveats, this is plausible adjustment, especially as political pressure increases, but scaling it up dramatically would reduce expected revenue, so the government would need offsetting measures. So basically they're saying if that comes in, it's going to be more money taken off the larger farms, I think. So rumour proposal, clawback time based on reversal of relief. Description, under clawback, 100% relief is granted initially, but is withdrawn if farm or business assets are sold within a certain period. Example, 7 years. Sentax considered this but concluded it wouldn't meet the government's goals of targeting tax shelters, and that it would be difficult administratively to implement by 2026. Likelihood, caveats, probably less likely as a primary mechanism, though elements of it might appear to be in a revised scheme. Minimum share, so that's a rumour. So the description. Relief is only available if agricultural business assets make up a large share, example 60% of the total estate. Support and criticism, sorry, I'm spilling my words today. This is one of the key proposals from Sentax in their recent report as a way to weed out passive investors or landowners using farms as tax shelters. It's quite plausible. It gives a way to protect genuine farmers while targeting tax avoidance. Yes, I don't know about that. So the proposal, upper cap on relief. Set a cap, example 10 million, on how much relief can be claimed. So very large estates lose the benefit beyond that. Sentax proposed this as another option which could allow the relief threshold to be increased for smaller estates while limiting benefit to the larger ones. That's from Ulster Farmers Union. This is reasonably likely, especially as a compromise to preserve revenue. So that sounds like they're going to set her up a cap. That one sounds like it's going to come in. Proposal, making relief transferable between spouses. Allow unused relief to be carried over to surviving spouses, similar to how other inheritance tax bans works. Sentax has recommended this change to avoid wasting relief on the first death. Now that is good, because if somebody died this year and then you've got to go through all this process on the farm and next year the other parent died, you'd have it double, wouldn't you? So that's a good one. Moderately plausible, it's a politically more acceptable tweak. So proposal, cap or restrict lifetime gifting, introducing limits on how much can be gifted prior to death to avoid inheritance tax liability. The Country Land and Business Association, CLA, has speculated that the Treasury is looking at capping lifetime gifts. Possible, though, would require legislative change and may be contentious. Doesn't sound like that one's going to come in. So the full U-turn, delay of implementation. Some hope for a postponement or rollback of the reforms under political pressure. Farmers are already calling for meetings and protests to have been widespread. While politically tempting, a full reversal seems unlikely unless revenue pressures pressures easing. So looking at that, it seems like the most likely is upper cap on relief. So this is what it looks like to me. They're going to set a cap of 10 million on how much relief can be claimed, so very large estates lose the benefit beyond that. Sentax proposes this as another option, which could allow the relief threshold to be increased for smaller estates while limiting benefit to the large ones. Sorry, I'm splitting my words here. It's reasonably likely, especially as a compromise, to preserve revenue. So that looks like it's going to happen, and it also looks like they're going to allow spouses to carry on unused inheritance tax. So the one up here, threshold increase from 1 to 5 million, this is plausible, especially as political pressures increase. So I think that what they're probably going to do, it looks like they're going to set it to either 5 or 10 million, which sounds a huge amount, but remember, if you're a farm, that isn't a lot of money, the 5 million, if you're a biggish farm, because you've got to have your house in it and all your buildings in it and all your machinery in it. But there's something that's okay. I'm pleasantly surprised with that, but I don't think it should have happened in the first place, because they've just put so many people. Some people have actually committed suicide due to this, haven't they, already? What the Sentax independent analysis says: because much of the rumour is driven by the new Sentax report, Centre for Analysis on Taxation, it's worth summarising their findings and proposals. Sentax estimates that 480 to the 600 farm estates per year could be impacted, i.e. pay additional tax under the current proposals. Of these, 205 estates might be small family farms, i.e. estate values 5 million, and high proportion of farming assets would be impacted. Sentax argues that while the proposed reforms protect family farms to a large extent, they could be better targeted to avoid misuse as tax sheltering. They reject the clawback model as insufficiently effective or too administratively complex for the short time frame. Their preferred tweaks, as discussed above, include a minimum share rule, upper cap, and making allowances transferable. What seems more likely in my view? Given the mix of revenue needs, political pressure, and administrative constraints, here's where I think the most likely adjustments or outcomes are. So this is what ChatGPT thinks will happen. 1. Threshold increase on particular or partial relief. The 1 million threshold might be pushed upward, example to 2.5 million, to take smaller farms off the hook. Well, that'd be good for somebody like me, but backed by a stricter targeting, so a minimum share rule cap on relief to protect revenue. 2. Minimum share eligibility test. I expect some version of the minimum share rule to appear. It's politically defensible, targets those using farmland just for tax shelter, and analytically supported by Sentax. 3. Cap on relief for very large estates. A cap ceiling for the biggest estates is a useful way to reduce excessive benefit and maintain fairness. 4. Spousal transferability, likely to be adopted as it reduces perceived unfairness without huge cost. 5. Possibility of delay or phased implementation, especially for contentious parts. Some implementation elements might be eased or staggered. 6. Full U-turn, unlikely. The government has revenue needs, and completely abandoned the reform would be a major blow to its tax strategy. Now, looking at that there, that's what's possibly going to happen. So the threshold increase, that is good. Cap on very large estates. Personally, I think that's good, because there's lots of people buying land up from all around the world in the UK to hide their money. Spousal transferability is very good, because like I said, if you got say I had two parents now who owned this farm, and one of them died, last year, and you're going to get a huge inheritance tax problem from that, and then the year after, another one dies. So you're going to add twice. So that is good. It's not going to be U-turned, not with this government, because they hate farming. The only reason they're doing this is because they can see they're dropping in the polls and they're in deep doo-doo. So I don't trust them at all. If you look here, this is all from the sources from the government. So I've not tried to spin any of this at all because I don't know enough about it. This is what will happen. So that there is what is going to happen with this new inheritance tax rules. Does it help small farmers? Yes. Does it help family farms? Yes. Does it stop larger estates creaming and passing money on? Yes. Is it a good thing? Well, it's good that they've adjusted it. I don't mind saying when people say this is a good thing, as long as they've seen what they're going to do, it was a bad thing. Because what they were going to do is it was going to crucify farmers. Absolutely crucify. And people who see me can see how much we make, which is nothing. You know, so if you're a bigger farmer, you're not going to be no better off. If you've got quite a large farm, you're still going to be affected. But there we are. So there we are, unbiased view from me and ChatGPT. Please comment, rate and subscribe and share, and hit that button below that says hype. Ta-da!